All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Steve Alcorn with you again, or Slick Flip. I wanted to show you my weekly update sales video. My videos, I went back and watched a few of them. They're awful boring. I don't know why you guys watch these things, but anyhow, I'm going to try to, be all exciting and stuff. But here we go. We're going to go straight into it so I can get this done and over with. We'll do a screen share and I'll show you what sold this week. The very first item was this Ralph Lauren Chaps color block button-down shirt. It was a medium. It sold for $24.95. This is from probably the 90s, I'm guessing, and just a basic Ralph Lauren Chaps. The Chaps line is not as good as some of the others, but this was a nice shirt, actually. I would have kept it for myself, maybe, if it would have fit. But I did sell it for the full asking price of $24.95, and it sold as I was uploading the last video, the last sales update video. So it went pretty quick last Sunday, actually. Next item was these fire-resistant, flame-resistant HRC2 blue jeans from Tyndale. They sold for $23.99, and they are coming back because I put 30 by 30 in the title, and they're actually 33 by 30. My mistake. It happens. I'm waiting for them to come back so I can issue the return. I'm not worried about taking returns and stuff like that. I thought about it overnight. These were actually in fantastic condition, as you can see. They weren't worn very much. I thought about it overnight, and I'm like, wait a second. I think they were 33 by 30s. I was kind of hemming and hawing about it in my brain. Maybe it's just sending me back. He's not a scammer. He just got the wrong size pair of jeans. But anyway, if you see this Tyndale, they do pretty well. They sat for a while. It takes a special customer to buy a pair of fire resistant pants, but people who work in foundries and things like that. But that's the logo you want to look for. I think some other companies make the fire resistant as well. But this is the one I think they're well known for it. They also make shirts. I did see a shirt the other day at the Goodwill. I didn't pick it up because it was full price, and I'm learning how to be a little bit more picky in things, but you could probably get about $20 out of a shirt, and I could have probably got the full $29.99 out of these jeans too, but we'll have to get that when they come back. So, because they are heavy. So they cost, I got them in a padded flat rate, but they cost a little bit more to ship if you don't do it that way. So, all right, next was vintage 80s or 90s, late 80s, early 90s, Champion Jim Schwartz. You can see the tag is size 34, but this is a vintage pair of Champion Jim Shorts. This is what I would have worn in high school if I would have had money instead of the cheap shorts my parents bought me. But whatever, hey, that's how it works. But they were $2 at the thrift store. I paid $2 for them at the Salvation Army, actually, and sold them pretty quick, within a week, for a best offer of $20. Sorry about this. Those little pumpkins. She can be a pain sometimes, but she's a good cat. So anyway, so $20 for a pair of old gym shorts. These were in pretty good condition, though. As you can see, they were worn. I mean, the tag is pretty worn. But they were in fantastic condition for their age. So the only issue, and it's very hard to see, but there was a little spot right there on the waistband, which I did disclose, of course. So awesomeness. Oh, this was my best sale of the week. This is Dan and Louie, Children's Bible Stories, a 20 CD set. It's Dan Betzer. If you don't know who Dan Betzer is, you should probably look him up. He is a preacher. And he has the, well, I guess you call it a dummy. I don't know. I don't know what the politically correct term is, but when I was a kid, this guy came to our church and had his puppet dummy thing with him. And so ever since then, my wife, who went to church with me when we were younger, and then we got together many, many years later, she was there, and her family loved Dan and Louie. And so she bought this for her kids a few years back. And her kids are all grown now. This is a hard to find item. So if you guys come across one of these, it's a 20 CD set. I sold it for the full asking price of $119.89. I went to a casting company, like a movie film casting company out of Florida. So I don't know what they're going to do with it, but There was 20 CDs in this thing. This first one had some scratches on it, which I disclosed. It got stuck in the CD player uh, in the car, but it did play. I tested the CD and it did play, and so did the others. So you can see that they were just children's Bible story. It's Dan talking to Louie. Dan is the human, and Louie is the puppet. This is the older version of the set, but I don't think it matters. Uh, it If you go on his website now, I don't even think you can buy it. So I think that's probably why it went so much. Now I just noticed this was done in Longwood, Florida, and the casting company was out of Florida. So I'm wondering if it went straight to Mr. Betzer. That would be cool, actually. Uh, I admired the guy when I was a kid. I don't go to church anymore and things of that nature, but I did like this guy. He was pretty cool. So, and a piece of my childhood, but there is even a price on that. So $119.89 for something that I had nothing invested in. I did use the money from this to buy, you can see the styrofoam head back there, and I bought a couple other things for the business. So the profits from this CD went straight back into the business, the CD set. So that was pretty cool. Next was just an alarm. Took a best offer of 20 on this, I believe. It's a 10-year sealed alarm, universal security instruments. You don't have to change the battery in this thing for 10 years, so that's pretty cool. It was sealed in the package. I found it at the Goodwill for $2.89. Took the best offer of 20 and shipped it out. My first Trump sale, it was pretty cool. This one the photographs came out beautifully. This one I took a best offer of $22.50 on. The guy wanted to know a lot of things about it. Was there any wrinkles or snags, or he wanted to know the exact length, the exact width. So I put all that in the description and messaged the guy. You can see this. It was a beautiful tie. Probably could have got more out of it, but you can see that after he asked me, I actually put the things in the. He wanted me to make sure that I used a metal tape so it didn't change. And he was a tall guy, so he needed to make sure it was a certain length and things of that nature. But anyway, so I paid 89 cents for this at the Goodwill, and it sold for $22.50. I made a pretty good amount of profit. Now I shipped this in a box. A very small box. I don't have it with me. I wrapped it in, I put it in a bag, wrapped it in bubble wrap. I had one of those little bubble wrap pouches and put it in a box because, somebody's paying a good amount of money for a tie. I want to make sure that it gets to them in one piece. And the guy asked for it to be, wrinkle free and snag free and things like that. So I'm not going to send something like that in a padded envelope or a flat rate. I'm going to send that in an actual box, and I'm going to protect it. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I'd rather have a customer who's happy than one who, files item not as described or a negative on me. So I'll go that extra mile sometimes to make a customer happy, even though the profit, I made $15 or $16, $18 off of this thing, but still I'll make them happy for that price. So next was another hat. Oh, this is my first hat, actually. First hat sale. I did get the full 24. Actually, it was on sale, so I think I got $21.89 or 21 something for it with shipping. It went to a freight forwarding company, so it's going to another country. I don't know where, but you can tell when you get a freight forwarding company because they send you an email or a message through eBay asking you to put the item number on the outside of the box, pack with care, and make sure that you do everything correctly if it's liquids and things like that. But so it was a freight forwarding company. It's going to another country. This was a very nice hat. I think I paid $1.89 for it. I'm pretty sure I did. This is before I had the styrofoam heads. In fact, I just got those. So any future hats will be posed on a styrofoam head, but this was on my light. You can see the bulb inside because I didn't have any other way to pose it. But anyway, this hat was in phenomenal condition. I think it was from the 80s. I wasn't sure, so I didn't state that. But it actually had, I don't think it was ever worn. It had a paper, this label here was paper. And you can see all the yellow stuff that falls out of these hats when they're old like that. and it did have a little stain right there on the side, but I'm sure it would come out. I just didn't try because it was an older hat. But Champion spark plugs, not bad, going to another country, and I made a pretty good profit on that one, so I'm happy with that. This is another item that I had at home. I bought this for my wife a couple years ago because we had a lot of police and fire and stuff going by. So this is just a regular police and fire scanner, but it's analog and we are digital out here now. I actually bought this off of eBay like 2 years ago, and I want to say I spent $25 on it, but I'm not going to count that as my, sorry about the runny nose thing. I'm not going to count that because, you know, it's something we had and we bought for ourselves. But I took a lot of pictures of this. I don't know why they're not all on here, but anyway, it actually looked better than this. Is before I had my photos set up. I could have got nicer pictures, and maybe that's why it took for a while to sell. But anyway, I took a best offer of $45 with free shipping. It actually cost me close to, it wouldn't fit in a medium flat rate, which is good because I actually got it cheaper. I got it to fit in the shoebox priority, and it shipped for, I think, $9.89 or something like that. So it's cheaper than a flat rate. It weighed like 3 pounds, something like that. It was pretty heavy, but it went out yesterday or Saturday, so it's on its way. This shirt I had for some time. It's a Harley Davidson denim shirt. The pictures weren't the greatest. This is before I had my mannequins and stuff, but it is official Harley Davidson. Nice faded look. You can see the tags and everything. I think eBay, when I upgraded to store, I lost some of my pictures, and I don't understand why. If you hear the noise outside, that's the garbage truck. It is early Monday morning, even though this says Sunday. But that's, you know, how we roll around here. So anyway, so this Harley Davidson shirt, I took a best offer of $17 and sent it out. Another hat. This one was vintage. It was New Mexico. It had some really cool graphics on it. This one went to Pittsburgh of all places, but actually this one is packed up and ready to go. I sold this yesterday. I took $12.99 on it. It was a $1.89 hat. Not the profit margins I normally like. This one is actually another really nice one. The tag was missing on this one, but you can see that I don't think it's ever been worn. It was very clean on the inside. Very, very clean. But it's going to Pittsburgh. I made about $5 on it, so I'm not going to complain about that. All right, and my final sale of the week was a deck of tarot cards. This is the Magician, the Rider Tarot deck. If you're familiar with tarot cards, you've heard of the Rider deck. But this one was from 1971, and it was the WR78, if you can see that right there. I put it up for auction because I noticed that they were doing better at auction. Most things don't for me, but this one I could tell was going to do better at auction. So I put it up for auction. It did sell for $28.99. I did do free shipping, and that one's ready to go out this morning. I packed it really well. I mean, if you're paying that much for a deck of cards, I'm going to pack it nice for you and get it to you in one piece. It's from 1971, so, you know, I wanted to make sure it gets there. I don't know anything about tarot cards, and I don't really care, but somebody apparently out there does, and I noticed that sometimes this set goes for a lot more. Now, the box condition could have been better, that sort of thing, but another thing is you got to take a lot of pictures of collectible items like this. Even if you don't think it's that collectible, I take as many pictures as I can. But like I said, when I upgraded to my store, it seems like some of my pictures were lost in the fray, and I'm just now figuring out this. So, because I don't go back and look at my auctions. So some of the pictures were lost in the fray, but whatever. I'm still selling things, and if something's not moving, I'll go back and check it on occasion and see. And I did notice that with the last item, the Harley shirt, that some of my pictures had been lost, but it did still sell. So anyway, so if you ever find this deck out in the wild, make sure it's WR78. Put it up for auction. I paid 89 cents for this, and I got $28.99. So you can't beat that, and I'm happy with it. The buyer hopefully will be happy with it. It was still, the cards were in fantastic condition. They had a little warping, but nothing out of the ordinary for a deck of cards of that year. And the colors were really nice on them. Came with the instructions. And this card up here, the one that's upside down, that was just a blank card that, you know, if you lose a card, you have one. So I don't know anything about this stuff, but it's gone. It's sold, and it made me a couple bucks. So that was the sales for this week. It was a really good week, actually. Let's see, how do I stop screen share? I think I got to go back here. So now it's doing some weird things to me. Oh, because I'm in the wrong thing here. Oh, that's not what we want. So live, I'm doing this live. I know you can't see it. Hey, there's another screen. Doing this live. Stop sharing right there. Hey, what do you know? So anyway, you can see I have some recent acquisitions up there. That is a Pokemon 35 millimeter camera. They go for about $20. That one has a little bit of scuffing issues, so I don't know how much I'm going to get out of it. Up there is a Polaroid SX70 camera. It will go, I have it listed for $34.95. It has an aftermarket flash adapter thingy on the top. That's another company, Continental Flash, InstaFlash Model D. I could probably sell them separate and get a little bit more, but I'll let it go. It did come with the original manual and things like that. That purse, I think, was in my last video. I'm not sure, but it's old and I got to figure it out yet. I haven't listed it. And this hat here, I should be able to get 20 bucks out of. It's a Country Gentleman. It's adjustable, but it's going to be a slow seller, but it's, well, I don't even know what they call the newsboy, I guess, style hat. And a White Castle hat on top of the Bigfoot guy there. But I got a bunch of hats for 89 cents a piece at the Goodwill, and they're vintage New Era hats. In fact, I'll get one so I can show you. These are the Patriots. It's vintage snapback trucker style hat. It still has the original price tag on the bottom, and it's definitely, let's see if we can get that in the, it's New Era. It doesn't want to come up, but we'll try. See, my biggest pet peeve on these videos is non-focused tag showings, and I can't do it myself. So, but anyway, vintage Patriots, 89 cents. I think it's new old stock. I'm going to probably not list it that way, or dead stock or whatever they call it. But you can see the insides of these hats it's old. You know, they're old. This is Cardinals, St. Louis Cardinals. They're not in St. Louis anymore, so that might have some. And Colts, but they're all vintage snapbacks, never worn. Pretty cool. And they all have the price tag, $6.75 originally. You know, that's not what you get a hat for anymore. And that New Era tag that's in them is definitely an old tag. But 89 cents a piece. I got a couple other hats from the same era. That'll do pretty well. One's Mets, and the other one's Angels, California Angels. So pretty cool stuff. I think I want to get into the vintage hats. They don't make a lot of money, but they're cheap to buy at yard sales and thrift stores. You can usually get them for $1 or $2 or even less, like I did in this case. And you can sell them for anywhere. I think the lowest I'll ever sell one for is what I did with the New Mexico hat, which is $12.99. If I can't make that off of it, then it's not worth me trying. So you can sell them from that and upwards, depending on what you have. I may sell those as a lot. I think I'll get more money. I'm not sure, being that they're all new old stock. I think that might bring me a little bit more. But then again, I don't know. I couldn't find any comps on those particular hats or any older vintage New Era hats on eBay of that style. So I'll have to keep looking, but they will get listed sometime this week. That's a female mannequin head, and I'm expecting a male one in the mail here pretty soon. And so that when I get female hats, I can do it on the female, and male hats on the male. It'll look better for the pictures. So that's what we're going to do. And that is my sales update. I'm getting out of breath because I'm talking too much and having to make things up as I go, and I don't like doing that. So we're going to end this broadcast now. And hopefully you learned something. If you did, hit the share button or the like button or the subscribe button or all three. Or you can just, do whatever. I don't care. But have a good day. Thanks for watching.